Hello everyone, in this video I will share with you the true wisdom in the senior years. What you should never share even with your children, and why quietness becomes a sacred virtue. There comes a time in every life when words no longer run ahead of us. A time when silence feels more comfortable than explanation, and peace becomes more precious than being right. This is the season of senior years, a season not of weakness, but it's distilled wisdom. In youth, we speak freely. We reveal our hopes, our fears, our dreams, our disappointments. We want to be understood. We want someone to listen. We want to be held emotionally the way a child is held in loving arms. But as we grow older, something inside us shifts. We begin to understand that true wisdom is not in what we say, but in what we choose to keep quietly within the heart. With age, every breath becomes gentler, every thought becomes deeper, and every silence becomes more meaningful. The golden years are not the years of speaking loudly, they are the years of living softly, keeping dignity close, and letting the mind become calm like the late afternoon sun. And in this phase of life, three truths stand out clearly. First, there are things we should never share with anyone, even with your own children. Second, silence is not weakness, silence is mastery. Third, keeping certain things for ourselves protects our peace, our dignity, and the harmony of the family. Things you should never share, even with your children. This is not about mistrust. It is about love, wisdom, and understanding that saying too much can hurt the very people we want to protect. Your children love you, but they also have their own burdens, their own storms, and their own responsibilities. Not everything in your heart is meant to be placed into their hands. Beloved are the things a wise elder learns to keep quietly inside. First, the quiet sadness of aging. Aging brings its own form of loneliness. There are evenings when the house feels too still, when the chair beside you is empty, when memories feel warmer than the present moment. There are mornings when you wake and realize the people you once leaned on are no longer here or no longer the same. There are natural aches in life, not weaknesses, but telling these feelings to your children often does more harm than good. They worry, they feel guilty, they feel they are not doing enough. They sacrifice their own happiness to tend to your sadness, and no loving parent wants to burden their children this way. Some sadness is meant to be healed by time and prayer, not placed upon the hearts of the young. Second, own wounds for marriage or relationships. Every marriage, every partnership, every long relationship carries its own scars, misunderstandings, disappointments, harsh words said in the past. But when you are old, these wounds have long since been covered with forgiveness and acceptance. Sharing them with your children changes how they see the parent they admire, reopens the wounds that no longer matter, creates division in family harmony. Some truths are unnecessary. Some memories do not need an audience. Some pain does not deserve resurrection. Third, regrets. failures, or unfulfilled dreams. Everyone has regrets, things left undone, paths not taken, words never spoken, mistakes made in youth. But sharing deep regrets can burden your children emotionally. They begin to think, did mom or dad live an unhappy life? Will I also make the same mistakes? Should I fix their regrets for them? Your regrets are part of your private spiritual journey, a quiet teacher only for you, not a shadow your children must walk under. Let your regrets dissolve gently like clouds drifting after rain. For the exact details of your finances, money is one of the fastest ways to create jealousy, misunderstanding, conflict, assumption, expectations, dependency. You do not need to announce how much you have, how much you plan to give, and how much you save. Private finances should remain private even within the family. Being discreet is not selfish, it is wise. It protects your dignity and prevents unnecessary tension among your children and relatives. Fifth, on the details of your health. Share what is necessary, but do not turn every ache into a story, every pain into a daily report. Children often react to parental illness with intense fear and guilt. They begin to feel responsible for what they cannot fix. Sometimes the most loving things you can say is simply, "Don't worry, I'm taking good care of myself." This keeps their hearts lighter and frees them to live fully. 6. Your private preferences and favoritism. Every parent has a child they connect with more deeply, whether due to personality, shared experiences, or temperament. But favoritism, even subtle, should never be spoken aloud. Love your children equally in words, even if your heart experiences them differently. Silence here protects every child's heart. Why silence becomes a sacred virtue. With age comes a profound realization. Not everything needs to be spoken. Not every truth needs a voice. Not every hurt needs an audience. Silence is not emptiness. Silence is wisdom. Beloved are the reasons silence becomes one of the greatest strengths of the senior years. Silence protects your peace. When you no longer need to explain yourself, you become peaceful. When you no longer respond to everything, you stay calm. When you no longer argue, you remain light. You do not need to win. You do not need to prove. You do not need to correct the world. You only need peace, and peace grows in silence. Silence allows you to observe the truth. When you speak less, you hear more. The intentions behind people's words, the character behind their actions, the energy behind their tone. Silence is not empty, it is full of information. It gives you clarity that talking too much can blur. Silence protects your dignity and self-respect. A wise elder knows not every situation deserves a reaction. Not every insult deserves a response. Not every disagreement needs resolution. Dignity shines brightest when a person remains calm and silent instead of arguing, complaining, or showing frustration. Where people respect the quiet elder far more than the noisy one. Silence gives children space to grow. Too many words of an elder can suffocate. Too many instructions become control. Too many fear becomes pressure. Your children need room to make mistakes. learn from life, build their own identity, raise their own families. Silence is the form of trust. It says, I believe in you. I release you to live your life. Silence is the greatest form of compassion. You stay silent not because you don't care, but because you do care. You choose silence because speaking could hurt feelings, reopen wounds, create unnecessary conflict, reveal truths that do not bring healing. Silence is the kindness of someone who has already seen enough of life to understand that peace is more valuable than opinions. Keeping things for yourself is not selfish, it is wisdom. A wise elder learns that not everything belongs on the surface. Some things are meant for the heart alone. Keeping certain things private means you protect your inner peace, you protect the harmony of the family, you protect the emotional balance of your children, you protect your dignity, you protect your energy from unnecessary drama. You do not need to be understood by everyone. You do not need to open every page of your story. You do not need to explain your past, your feelings, your fears, and your mistakes. You only need to live gently, peacefully, and with quiet strength. This is the beauty of senior wisdom, the greatest wisdom of the senior years. This is the final season of life. You realize life is not about speaking loudly. Life is not about explaining everything. Life is not about proving your worth. Life is not about convincing others. Life is not about sharing everything in your heart. Life, especially in senior years, is about calmness, discernment, simplicity, boundaries, and keep inner peace. You become quiet teacher, not through words, but through presence. Your silence becomes a blanket of peace. Your gentleness becomes a guiding light. Your calmness becomes a blessing to everyone around you. You don't need to say much. Your energy says everything. In conclusion, true wisdom in the senior years is not measured by how much you share, but how much you choose to keep with love and dignity. Speak when necessary, share when it brings healing, stay silent when speaking brings no benefit. And remember, quietness is not emptiness, it is a strength. Silence is not loneliness, it is wisdom. Keeping certain things in your heart is not secrecy, but it's maturity. When you embrace this truth, the senior years become not a fading sunset, but warm glowing evening, gentle, luminous, peaceful, and full of grace. Thank you so much, and I hope you enjoy it. Please click like to subscribe to my channel.